Hello guys, welcome to this channel. So in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this beautiful structured cape. So if you are interested in knowing how I came about this, do not forget to hit on the like and subscribe button, and do it by turning on your notification bell so you can get notified when next we upload new tutorials, and you can go through the channel to get more knowledge on how to cut and sew different styles. So guys, let's get straight into the video. So guys, I'm just going to be marking 2 inches. I'll come down by 2 inches from our start line. So these 2 inches we serve as our shoulder line. Go ahead and rule it out. So next, I'm just going to, from our shoulder line, I'll determine the length of my cape. So for this tutorial, I'll be using 11.5. You can make use of 10 inches. You can make use of 12 inches, but 11.5 is what I use for this tutorial. Okay, so I'm just going to connect just like you see me doing. You can use 10 inches, you can even use 9 inches depending on how long you want your cape to be. Next, this will serve as our shoulder line like I said earlier. Also, this cape has a sweetheart neck, so I'm going to determine the height of my sweetheart neck. So I'll be marking 9 inches. Okay, so go ahead and mark 9 inches and connect like so. So just go ahead and connect. Okay, so from that 9 inches, I'll go ahead, I'll be marking 2 inches. I'll go up by 2 inches. Please make sure you label this so that you don't mix it up. So I'll go up by 2 inches from that 9 inches. Okay, so go ahead and connect also, because we don't want our sweetheart neck to be too deep. Okay, so go ahead and mark 2 inches. You can also mark 1.5 from that 9 inches. So as you can see, the height of my sweetheart neck is 9, the length of my cape is 11.5. So on this shoulder line, I'm going to be adding between 2 to 3 inches to my actual shoulder measurement after dividing it by 2. My shoulder measurement is 14, divided by 2 is 7. So I added 3 inches, making it 10. Okay, so later on, I actually reduced it to 9 inches because when I had transferred to my fabric, I discovered it was too wide for me. So you can add between 2 to 3 inches depending on what you want. So that is 10 inches. So I went ahead to mark 10 inches and I connected like so. Also, I'm going to get the midpoint of this line, which is 5. Then I'll connect from that 2 inches when I came down from that my 9 inches. I'm going to connect like so, just to get my sweetheart neck. Can you see? So that 9 inches will determine the height of your sweetheart neck. Okay, so and the 2 inches that went up will determine how high we want the sweetheart neck to be. At this other point, I'll be marking quarter of an inch or half of an inch because I don't want it to be too, I don't want it to look like a V. Okay, so I'm just going to connect it to that half of an inch or quarter of an inch. So this is half of an inch. You can use half of an inch or quarter of an inch just to get these other points. So the neck width I'll be working with is 3 inches by 3 inches. So I discovered the neck was too low for me. So please, when rafting your own, use 3 inches by 3.25. 3 inches for the neck width, then 3.25 for the neck depth. Okay, so because after transferring to my fabric, I reduced it. So later on you understand better. So at this other point, I'm going to go up by, you can go up by 1.5 or 2 inches. I used 2 inches, but when I was done sewing, I reduced it to 1.5 because the cape at that point was too high for me. So please use 1.5 when drafting yours. But if 2 inches is okay for you, then you can go ahead. Then you're just going to connect to your shoulder line just like so. Okay, so guys, please just watch carefully, watch before practicing, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like and share this video as well so that YouTube can make this video viral. Please give this video a thumbs up. So guys, I'm going to be drafting both the back and the neck, the front and the back together, the neck width. So I used 1.5 for the back neck width, and I'm just going to connect. So instead we are going to use just one pattern paper to cut the front and the back. So this is the back neckline and this is the front neckline. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'm going to cut this out. So this is virtually the drafting aspect of this tutorial. Okay, so you are going to cut out the back first. After transferring the back to your fabric, then we'll cut out the front. Okay, so here is our pattern. I'm going to be using a bridal satin for this. This is doll face bridal satin. I'm just adding half of an inch all around, okay, so that this will serve as our seam allowance. Please go ahead and add half of an inch and make sure you trim off. I discovered this was too big for me, so I just went ahead to secure with my safety pin, and I trimmed it again to have my exact allowance, which is 0.5. So now I'm going to remove this pattern paper, then cut out the front neckline. Okay, so guys, after I was done removing it, I'm just going to be cutting out. This is the front neckline. So now we can now transfer to our actual fabric. So for this center front, please make sure it's on a folded part. Okay, you know the front has no joining except for the back. So the center front has no joining, unlike the center back that has an opening at the back. So I'll go ahead and add half of an inch. You can actually add half of an inch before cutting. Okay, so because I know I was not going to make this too big or too small, so I went ahead to cut out. If you cannot do this, please mark before cutting. Okay, so I'm going to cut two pieces of this, two extra piece, so that one will serve as the lining and the other will serve as the actual fabric. So we'll repeat the same thing to the back as well. I'm just trying to trim off this. So as you can see, I've actually gone ahead to cut out two pieces, two for the back and two for the front. So I'll be using my gum stay. You can actually use a thicker one, but this is light gum stay. I'll iron it on one part for the front and one part for the back. So guys, after I was done ironing, this is what it looks like. Can you see? I didn't iron it on this will serve as our main fabric, the part that I did not put my gum stay. Then the part that I added gum stay will be my lining piece. So I'll place them right side facing each other. I'll go ahead and stitch the shoulder and also the sides. Okay, only the shoulder and the side. I'll repeat the same thing to the other side as well, and also to the lining piece. Place them right side facing each other and stitch half of an inch. Okay, so guys, I will repeat the same thing to the lining piece. Like I said, place them right side facing each other, and you're just going to stitch using 0.5 inches. Then I'll do that and show you what next to do. So guys, I've gone ahead to stitch this. As you can see, at this point I came down by 1 inch. I'm supposed to stitch by 0.5, but I discovered that part was too high for me. So that was what I was explaining when I was drafting. So instead of going up by 2 inches, next, if you are drafting, please use 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to be marking 1 inch, half of an inch as our allowance and half of an inch for the reduction. So I'll go ahead and blend it up to the neck with my half of an inch, and I'm going to be repeating the same thing to the lining piece as well. The other part where I added gum stay, then you're going to trim off. Okay, so please use 1.5 when drafting and not 2 inches for the height of your cape. Okay, then you're just going to cut out and notch these other parts. Please, you are going to repeat the same thing to the other parts where we have our gum stay, where we iron our gum stay on. So I'll go ahead and give it a good press and show you what it looks like. So guys, I've actually gone ahead to reduce this. Like I said, please make sure you reduce it and trim it off. Okay, also I'm also going to be reducing these sides as well. Okay, I'm going to be reducing this side. So like I said, instead of adding 3 inches to your shoulder measurement, please add 2 inches. Then you're just going to, I reshaped it and I'm just going to cut out. But this is totally fine. No, if that's what you want. I don't want mine to be too high. Okay, so that's why I'm just reducing this. So instead of adding 3 inches to your actual shoulder measurement, please go ahead and add 2 inches, but 3 is okay if you want. So next, I'm going to be reducing my neckline. I discovered that the neckline was too high for me. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce it by half of an inch. like I said, instead of using 3 by 3, you can use 3 by 2.5 or 3 by 3.5, so that the neck will not be too high for you. So that's what I just did when I was drafting. Remember, I explained this. Please don't forget to do all of these adjustments if that's what you want. Okay, so I'm just going to trim off every excess allowance on at the sides. Please trim off every necessary allowance so that when we turn it out, it will not be looking too, it will not give us this funny look. So I'm going to reduce the lining piece as well. Like I said, this will serve as our lining piece for us, this part where we added our gum stain. So I'll reduce it as well by half of an inch. Whatsoever you do to the lining piece, you also do the same thing to the actual fabric, so that they can be the same and so that they can align. Okay, so guys, this is what it looks like. Next, I'm going to turn it out and I'll head over to my ironing table. I'll give it a good press. I'll iron both the lining piece and also the actual fabric. Okay guys, so after I was done ironing, this is what it looks like. Can you see? This is actually looking pretty. Can you see the height of my cape? That is not too, it's not too high. I just like it the way it is. So that's the reason why I was doing all of the adjustment. So this is our lining piece and this is the back. The center back is opened. Okay, so now I'm going to be placing them right side facing each other so that we can stitch. So first we are going to be stitching the neck. Okay, you are going to be stitching the neck all around. Make sure you open up every side seam, open up the seam allowance so that you can stitch both the lining piece. Open up the lining and the allowance on the lining piece and the actual fabric. Then you are going to stitch using half of an inch for the neck, and also at the down part I'm going to be stitching it like so. Please, when stitching, make sure you don't stitch you just pull it in. Make sure you pull this in inside so that you don't stitch on the part you are not supposed to stitch on. Okay, so because we have a gum stay on it, so it will not be very easy. And I'll be stitching alongside my hemming gun. Please, when stitching, your hemming gun is going to be on the wrong side. We already agreed that the part where our gum stay, we have our gum stay, is the lining part. So you're just going to be placing it this way. Okay, just like this. You are going to stitch on, place your hemming gum on the neck like so, just this way. Then you're going to stitch. So we want our hemming gum to be on the lining piece and not the main fabric. So guys, after I was done stitching, this is what it looks like. As you can see, can you see my hemming gum is actually on that part where my hemming gum is and not the other part. And make sure you open up the side seam before sewing. Okay, can you see I stitch using with my hemming gum. And also at this down part, please, you are going to repeat the same thing and be careful when sewing your sweetheart's neck, that point. Okay, so that you not do something funny there. So I'm going to be notching. Just go ahead and notch, then trim off any allowance. Please notch all around so that when we are ironing, it will be very easy for us. So I'm going to be turning it out through the center back. That's the only opening that we have. Okay, go ahead, turn it out. Then I'll head over to my ironing table. I'll give it a good press and show you what it looks like. Okay, so guys, after I was done ironing, this is what it looks like. As you can see, please make sure you iron this very well. And this other center back, I'm going to be folding in half of an inch, trim off any excess. Then I'm going to fold in half of an inch and I'll be putting my hook and eye. Okay, please fold it in using 0.5 inches, that seam allowance that we left. You're going to top stitch, then add your hook and eye, and that will be the end for this tutorial. Okay, so guys, please make sure you give this video a like this video so that YouTube can make this video viral, so that other soulmates can actually watch and learn from this video. Thank you to all our returning subscribers, and to our new subscribers, thank you for sticking by. God bless you. See you in my next tutorial.